Hello everybody, my name is Leandre and this is a speed paint of one of my assignments for my editorial class. So this assignment had to do with trains. As you can tell, I'm making a train cart, and the assignment had to do with how communities are isolated due to closed trains services during the weekends. So for this assignment, I wanted to basically make the inside of the cart and just focus on the isolation aspect of it, especially not how isolating the communities feel, but also how isolating the trains might feel. So I wanted to do that by focusing on color and various details that really showcase the isolation aspect of it and how a train can look like when it's isolated. So right now I'm working on the sketch and, messing around with it, still trying to figure out, the details of it. I haven't really been on trains too often. I've only been on a train like once in my life, and I was very, very young, so I don't really quite remember. So I was using finding lots of references, and when I was looking for references, I found this picture, and I thought the colors were very effective, and it really gave isolation to it. It kind of reminded me of a horror-esque video game or movie, probably relating to zombies because they kind of have that color grading to it. The only thing closest to a train that I've been to is a subway, but I feel like they're a bit different. They don't look entirely the same. So right now I'm painting with the turpentine brush from Procreate, and I really, really love this brush. I think it's a great brush. I really like it for portraits, but I just felt like because I wanted to go with the isolation look and the buzz, it felt too soft. It didn't feel grungy enough. It didn't feel dirty. I just didn't really like the texture overall. So I decided to basically start over from scratch and find a brush that kind of fit my theme better. And the brushes that I basically used were ones that were pencil-like brushes that look like charcoal, things like that would give me the texture that I liked, but also kind of gave me the grunginess and dirtiness of it. I also use a spray paint brush, and I used that a lot for lighting, and I think it was just very effective because it also kind of, when there's lighting and there's a lot of dust and you can see the dust or the specks of white in the air, it kind of gave that kind of same look of it when I used that spray paint brush to use for lighting, and I thought that was super effective, and it showed again back to the isolation of it. How when things are left alone for too long, dust builds up and things start to get dirty. Random things, dirtness, blotches of stuff, So right now I'm working on the walls and just adding various details, shadows, highlights, cleaning it up a little bit, because with these type of brush, things can start looking a bit too messy. I want things to look messy, but not too messy to the point where things start to blend into one another. And I still, want it to look like a train. So I started cleaning it up just a little bit using, another brush that has a little bit more harder lines. After that, I started working on the train seats. These were, I would say, I wanted to give it off leather, so with that highlights and just the lighting, I think it helped, as well as the color brown. So once I was done with the the seating, I decided to just copy and paste it throughout everywhere, because it would be hard to just create the chairs from scratch each time, and there were a couple here. I didn't want it to look too lacy, so later on I added individual details like scratches and blotches to show that they were different. They might look the same, but they were all different in their own way, and they had their own little imperfections. Here I'm messing with the lighting and using the spray paint brush here. I really love this lighting. I think it was very, very effective. It gave it that kind of horror-esque vibe that I was talking about earlier. I also started adding cracks on the windows, and adding the reflections of the people who would have been on the bus. On the train. On the train if it wasn't closed during the weekend. So, still messing with the lighting and just the back area. I added a bit of splotches in the door to kind of show it's an old train. It has dirt It's not the cleanest. It's grungy. So I also added it as well to the couches. I keep saying not couches. You know what I mean. The seating. And then I started doing the lettering. I could have gotten a font, but I wanted to keep the look of the text like it was part of the same brushes. The brushes wanted to look like it was made with the brush, so I ended up just making it myself. The squares here really helped with that, just making it look like it was one of those LED fonts that you would see in a train or a bus that tells you where it's going. And then right now I'm just adding the last bits of detail, some newspapers. But yeah, I thank you so much for watching. I'll probably maybe do this if I get more comfortable with it much more often. And thank you so much. See you.